Hey comrades, what's up? I'm here to talk about an erotic visual novel that I played recently that I enjoyed. It's another one of these lessons of passion games like Horus or Living with Temptation. And I go super back and forth in these. Now, it may seem like I love these games. Living with Temptation is excellent. Horus was okay. But Bloodlines is pretty good. It's got the same issue where it's like, so with the lesson of passion games, they make their own models, their own 3D models, and which is excellent because all the girls look different and unique for the most part. Sometimes I feel like I'm seeing like a same girl in a different game, but they like modify them pretty well, and then the sex scenes are usually pretty good. They've been around a long time. Like we're talking like Newgrounds era, right? Like 20 years plus. So they got these like really old erotic visual novels that I've played like way back in the day, or like that I've gone back to and played, because you can still find them on like F95. I don't know if they even have them available. They have an itch.io and they're on Steam. A lot of their games go on Steam, like the better ones. Like there's like Eleanor in Miami, which I've never played and no real interest in because it's like a female protagonist and then she doesn't look that hot. Like if she looked hotter, I'd be like, yeah, maybe. But like Living with Temptation's good. Like I said, Horse is fine. This one's not on Steam as far as I'm tracking. It might be, but I was trying to look at their blog to see if, like what was available and whatnot. So I don't know, but it's good. So this one is like, it's an open world sort of game. You got 30 days to like get an ending, and so it starts off, you're just some jabroni, and then you meet these like new neighbors, and they are vampires, and you live, and like your dad is going away for like vacation for like a month, and then like your mom, not mom, and this one's odd because right, so it's like, it's the whole thing where it's like, oh, this is my dad's new wife, and it's not really my mom, and then it's like, and this is my super hot sister, who's not actually my sister. She's like a stepsister that I kind of grew up with. And you're like, right, and you roll your eyes. And at some point in the game even, she's like, you call her sister like a couple different times. And I'm like, is this just one of those things that like cut the incest out at the last second to like get it into Steam? But it seems like no. That this is actually like a stepmom and stepsister situation, and you just call her sister because that's sometimes how step siblings talk to each other. Because there's a whole thing with like multiple ending. Well, there's a whole side like story in this where it's like, what's your mom? Who's your mom? Because there's like talk about like vampires and like vampires don't like create. I mean, they create new vampires because you were created, but you were created as a vampire because you have like vampire blood in you. Because there's a whole thing where it's like, if you bite somebody, they're not going to just become a vampire like the Bram Stoker's Dracula. Like they have to be like the seed of a vampire, and then it can be like activated. And then there's like initiate, sanguinary, and then like Nosferatu as like the different levels of vampire power, and with Nosferatu being the strongest. Anyway, so there's Lucas, and I barely talked to this chick. She's the one who turns you into a vampire originally, and then she's like around. She's Lucas's mom. I'm gonna call her Victoria. I think it's Vittoria, like, you know, vitae, like blood, right? Some stupid bullshit like that. But so yeah, I think it is Vittoria. Anyway, and then your sister is Christina or Christian, not Christian. I think it is Christina. And then there's like your mom, and she is something else. And then there's and so the main characters are Angelique. She's another vampire from a different clan. There is Christina. There's Anita, who's a vampire hunter. And then there's the grossest one of all, who I never had any interest in like having any relationship with, and her name is like Monica. She has like this ugly face, like no joke. Like it's like I can't even like stand looking at it. Every other girl is like kind of hot in their own way, and none of them are like MILF bods. Even the MILF is like, she has a nice rack, and she looks a little bit older, right? She actually looks like she could be like in her 40s, like early 40s, late 30s, but and because you're supposed to be 20, right? And if your dad like remarried, your dad looked old, and then he disappears for like the whole game. And then, so those are like the main love interests, are like Anita, Christina, and Angelique. And then like, so you can go, so at night you can go, okay, so then you get turned into a vampire. You find out that like your mom must be a vampire, but no one knows anything about her. If you get like the best ending, you find out that your mom was also a vampire. And then what happens is like male vampires will like bang the shit out of like female humans. And then those kids like have the ability to be turned into vampires. And that's how like you build your clan up. So, honestly, excellent writing. Like it is such a kid fucking excuse for these vampire bros to be able to go out, and then all the other vampire bullshit is like non-existent, right? So you need blood to use your powers, and as you gain like more evolution, like you go from like initiate to I don't think it's initiate, but whatever it is, like novice to sanguinary to Nosferatu, you get like an extra level of powers, and each level of powers costs like twice as much blood, and you get blood by going on hunts at night, and during the hunts you can bang out like your step aunt, like your Christina's best friend at school, like this rando chick, and then the principal, And everything takes like a little, and again, it's an open world game, and so you have to do very specific things to unlock certain like sexual pathways through the game, which is also excellent. And then, so like I said, so you get turned into a vampire, you're part of this clan, at some point they make you like swear an oath to like the clan, and then after that, it's kind of like up to you what you want to do at that point. And so all this stuff with like the vampires, introduction of all the characters, that goes up to like day 5, and then day 5 is like when the open world just starts, and it's pretty much like whatever the fuck you want to do. And so you have like stats, and the stats help you with the hunt, but they also help you with like interactions with other people. So there's like charm, willpower, empathy, wisdom. It's not wisdom, it's like mind, I think. And then suspicion, and then blood points, and then money. And so there's different things you can do each day that cost blood that will like raise up certain stats and whatnot. The best way to raise stats is to evolve. But evolving, you have to do certain things, right? And this is where the game, like, this game is like, it's not perfect at all, but it's like it's an 8 out of 10. And the only reason it's not like a 9, it's like an A minus. And the only reason it's not an A, is, well, the main reason it's not A plus is because I want more. And but what's there is very good. Like I would recommend this game. Like outside of Monica, all the women are attractive in different ways. There's a black woman. There's like I think Anita, who's the vampire, she's like Indian or something. And then there's like the blonde sister. There's Angelique, who looks totally different. She's like a brunette vampire. There's like the blue-haired chick with her boyfriend that you can have a 3-way with. There's your redheaded mom. There's your aunt. Again, there's so many variations, different sex scenes, different paths you can take it. The game literally ends on a vampire orgy. Like if you get one of like the main endings, there's like sub endings where you get killed by like a werewolf, or like Anita kills you because she finds out you're a vampire before you have like a good relationship with her and stuff. But I mean, the gist of the story is like I said, it's very simple. So the first 5 days is all story. It's like visual novel, and then it's open world after that point. And like once Lucas kind of explains being a vampire and everything, and so then you can take multiple pathways. But kind of what happens is you bond with the vampire clan you're in, with the Velascos or whatever they are. And then at the end, and then after 30 days, there's the blood orgy, right? At that point, you can either be like the king of vampires in the area, you can become a vampire hunter, you can join the Boscos, you can join with Angelique's clan, which is like the Lobarellos or something. And to do all that stuff, it's like the game utilizes the open world excellently. And part of it is like, yeah, it can be a real grind if you stay in like the lowest evolutionary state. But if you go to like the next evolution, all your stats get raised by like 5 points. And then if you go to like the Nosferatu, they'll get raised by like 10 points. And you don't need more than 10 in anything to do anything in this game, like in all honesty. So if you're trying to get like one of the better, like the 2 best endings where you become a hunter or you become like the vampire royalty, or even if you, like as long as you get to Nosferatu, you can get like, it opens up like the 4 main endings, right? Which is like join the one clan, stay with your clan, become a vampire ruler by destroying all the other, by taking over all the other clans, or being a hunter and destroying everybody, right? And then the powers, you use the powers in certain times of the day with certain people to unlock sex scenes, right? And then make this game even better is that once you beat the game, once you get like an ending, I don't think a bad ending, because it didn't seem like it, but like once you get like one of the 4 endings, so you get through the 30 days, it opens up a new game plus, where you start the game and all your stats at like 10 already, and you have like 100 blood points and like $100, which is like, you need like more than that to like max out stuff, but you really don't need money for much besides like increasing charm and then buying like chocolates or flowers to like seduce women when you're on the hunt, right? And then so that allows you to like really cruise through like these other endings and get them. The only thing that makes this like an A minus over an A, to be honest, well, the A plus is because like Monica exists and she sucks. Like she's so gross looking, and her whole plot, there's like a whole thing where like you attack her the first time you become a vampire, and then you leave her out there, and so you gotta go like erase her memory and stuff, and erase her memory, you gotta like level up, you gotta evolve to the first level. All that's fine, right? So I don't mind any of that stuff, but she's just so hideous to look at. And then just her as overall character. And then there's a few things in this that are just like very confusing. Like I even got like, I found some sort of guide that just, it's not even like a full guide. It just gives you kind of bullet points of things you need to do in order to get certain endings. And even that was kind of hard to follow at times. So that is why it's not like a complete A plus. But the reason it's not a normal A and it drops to A minus is because whatever engine they're using this for, you can't control through. So when you're trying to go through to get multiple endings, you gotta like, and you can't press space and you can't press enter, and there's no holding the control button down. There's no skip button, right? So you literally just have to, you have the mouse button and you're just like click, 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 click when you're trying to get through the game to get to like another ending, right? And you have to start over from day 5. Thank goodness you have to start over from day 1, because that's all just like story that leads up to that. But aside from that, I really enjoyed this, and it's definitely a recommend. Christina's hot, Anita's hot, Angelique can be hot depending on the angle. Your mom's hot. Ant's hot. Like, there's a lot of babes in this, right? Monica's really the only one that's like gross. And then the vampire lady Victoria, she's hot. Like, so again, it's just like there's lots of different options, lots of different paths you can take. It was entertaining to play. It was entertaining to try to figure this out. Like I said, you can find like a kind of pseudo guide walkthrough that kind of gives you like the gist if you're like really stuck. Like I had to use it to get like the final ending because I was trying to figure out something, and it still wasn't like super helpful. It just said like use your powers to unlock this thing, and it's like, bro, I got like when you're Nosferatu, you literally have 12 powers. And it's like they cost a lot. Like the main powers cost like 4 blood, which is a lot. Because even if you do a hunt every night, I mean, if you do a hunt every night, or if you're doing New Game Plus, it's less of a big deal. But at the same time, trying to do it on your first playthrough is almost like you just got to get through the ending, have the blood orgy, and the blood orgy just lets you pick your ladies, right? So when you're at the blood orgy, you can be like Christina, which is the obvious choice, or like the Monica, with another girl, and then it gives you like another list of people to bang out, and then it's like, okay, what ending do you want? Essentially, after that point, what out of the endings you've unlocked based on your stuff. So if you can like save before this blood orgy, and then you can get like 3 or 4 of the endings right there at the end, right? Which is super great. I think you only get 3 because some of the endings include destroying like Angelique's family, like her clan. But at the same time, the game's made in like an old engine, and it looks nice. Like it looks like a more modern Lessons of Passion game, which is excellent. Because I've played some of the older ones, and they look like janky Newfound or Newgrounds games, so not as great. But yeah, highly recommend Bloodlines Shadow Springs, I think is what it's called. But like I said, you can find F95 if you go to their website. I think it might even be a Steam game, to be completely honest. I think it is, so you can find it on theirs. But enjoyed it. It was good, and yeah, cool. Catch you all later.